Y'all get ready?
Yes, you get ready.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Hey tea sippers, I hope you guys are doing good today. Happy Saturday. So we have to have a conversation about all this drama that's going on with Twitch Boss. So if you guys remember, Twitch Boss allegedly killed himself back in 2022, I believe. So he was one of the men that a lot of people recognize on the Ellen DeGeneres show. He was a really talented, world-renowned dancer, along with his wife, Allison. And so they had this beautiful blended family. Allison had her daughter, and then they also went on to have 2 children together. And so since then, a lot of things have transpired ever since his death. And she had been talking as early as September about dropping her book. So she decided to go to People magazine and do an online interview with them and basically discuss some things that are going to be in her book. And a lot of people were not happy about this. She discussed basically his alleged drug use and finding drugs, and also went on to say that he was molested by a male family member as well. So we're going to go ahead and watch some of that interview right here, and then I'm going to show you guys a lot of the opinions that came from Twitch's side of the family. They are not here for this whatsoever.
There was a moment I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. And it was a really triggering moment for me because there was a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. And it was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue. So it was a really scary moment in my life to figure that out, but it also helped me process that he was going through so much and he was hiding so much, and there must have been a lot of shame in that. And he was wrestling with a lot inside himself, and he was trying to self-medicate and cope with all those feelings because he didn't want to put it on anyone, because he loved everyone so much. He didn't want other people to take on his pain. But it was very alarming and scary to find those things and have never known. I have been trying to release all this anger this whole time, and I thought for a moment I thought if you would have asked me 6 months ago, I thought I'd released all the anger out. When I would think about my husband at the time, I would think, oh, I love that Twitch is such a great performer, but then when he comes home, he feels safe enough to be Steven. Twitch was extremely extroverted. Steven was introverted. Twitch loved to be the light in everyone's lives, and then Steven liked to hide away. Those are very 2 different personalities that were battling each other any given day.
All right, so you guys just saw that small snippet. So we're going to go ahead and watch another video. And I'm also going to read to you guys some things that came out that his family members have to say about Allison in her recent interviews.
Steven Twitch Boss's brother seems to agree with those who are calling out Allison Holker after her recent claims about the late star. In posts on his Instagram, Steven Twitch Boss's brother seems to agree with those who are calling out Allison Holker after her recent claims about the late star. In posts on his Instagram story, DeAndre Rose reshares a post from dancer Courtney Ann Platt in which Courtney slammed Allison's allegations about Twitch, which she details in her upcoming memoir titled This Far: My Story of Love, Loss, and Embracing the Light. In an interview with People magazine published January 7th, Twitch's widow opened up about finding mushrooms, pills, and other drugs she didn't recognize hidden inside shoeboxes just days before he was laid to rest. She told the outlet, "I was with one of my really dear friends, and we were cleaning out the closet and picking out an outfit for him for the funeral. It was a really triggering moment for me because there were a lot of things I discovered in our closet that I did not know existed. It was very alarming to me to learn that there was so much happening that I had no clue about." Allison also said it was only after she began digging into her husband's secrets that she realized how much he'd been keeping to himself, including allusions in his journals that he'd been sexually abused by a male figure in his childhood. Following the interview's release, a friend of Twitch's, dancer Courtney Ann Platt, posted a lengthy message about Allison's allegations, saying in part on Instagram, "This is by far the most tacky, classless, opportunistic act I have ever seen in my entire life. We all had to sign some weird NDA to attend his funeral, not to share anything or ruin his name, as if that was on anyone's mind in the first place. And here you go and write a book with all the dirty laundry smearing his name and attempting to dim the bright, loyal, loving light that was your husband, my friend." Courtney Ann adds, "Whether any of it is true or not is actually beside the point. This smear campaign for a buck is absolutely not what he would have ever wanted. No matter how bad he was hurting, you're a living, breathing bulldozer. Stick to your own demons. Shame on you, Allison. Shame on your money-hungry team. Let my friend rest in peace, not your PR." When Dre reshares Courtney Ann's post, he adds the caption, "No lies told." E! News has reached out to Allison's rep for comment, but has not heard back. Over in the comments of Allison's post about her interview with People, one commenter seems to share similar sentiment, saying, "This whole thing made me sad. He's gone. This paycheck was not worth disgracing his name." To which Allison responds, "I'll always love you. Just trying to help people feel safe to ask for help and support."
All right, so you guys just saw that clip. So this whole situation is really disturbing. So now I'm going to go ahead and read to you guys the posts that were posted on social media from Twitch's brothers, close friends, and even his mother got involved in the situation as well. Allison is definitely doing the most at this point. Okay, so these are some responses that were on the People Magazine Instagram page. So Dance 12 Neptune is the brother of Twitch, and so this is what he's saying. He's saying, "Individual, classless, and a disgrace. You want to change my brother's legacy so bad and hurt his loved ones. This man protected you from all the trash activities that you've done. Since we're talking about his drug abuse, what about yours? At People, you're trash for even posting this. Clout chasing much?" And then a lady named Without a Crystal Ball, and we'll go to her page in just a second because she's definitely spilling some tea. So she goes on to say, "Allison, I heard from a reliable source that you damaged your cartilage in your nose from too much blow." And that had over 595 likes. This person says, "At Allison Holker, how did you overcome your drug addiction? Or are you still using? Did you mention that in your new book to help others?" Somebody else says, "I found your interview quite disheartening. You spent nearly 10 years with this man, had children with him. He took your daughter on as his own, yet you're now calling him an addict and exposing his private struggles and negating what he meant to your life and your children's lives. You took off your ring within months, moved out of his house, rid yourself of his things, and moved on with your new man to call your forever, who allows you to be your true self. I'm sorry, Allison. You could just as easily said nothing and left his legacy alone. This is truly unbecoming of you for the sake of a book. Lastly, remaining devoid of your part in this is disrespectful to your promise to him. You're separating yourself from any blame, and I pray he is finally at peace." Somebody else says, "More to come. Me and my family are done with her lies. Time to open up Pandora's box." So that's one of Twitch's family members speaking. Then this person says, "What did you say? It was her gun?" This is one of Twitch's longtime friends and business managers. This person says, "It was her gun that he used, telling a story without saying a word." Somebody else says, "You lying, I didn't know that." Then the person replies back and says, "May God strike me down if I'm not telling the truth." Then they go on. Then somebody else goes on to say this. At Nelson Diaz NFT shares his experience as being Allison's manager. So they say, "For over a decade, I put up with much disrespect and just plain evil stuff from you because of him. I should have dropped you as a manager. I hate that I built you up and fought extremely hard for you to get jobs. I'm Bravo that I helped build. Should have let them fire you when you showed your true colors on set and held us up because you could barely speak. Don't act holier than thou with the demons and skeletons that you have. Your house is made of glass. I don't have to say anything. I don't have to say a thing. Others are coming for you now. People know my addiction journey because it's a part of my testimony. If you are truly healed, then share your true self and not monetize Stevens." So it sounds like Steven wasn't the only one with an alleged drug problem now, huh, Allison? So we're going to continue. This person, Comfortuki, says this: for too long, I've stayed silent, quietly supporting the family, even as I watched all this unfold. Signing NDAs under the guise of protecting his name only enabled you to twist the narrative. But now enough is enough. Since Stephen's passing, your actions have been nothing but short of questionable. Within 48 hours, you changed your last name from Boss back to Holker on Instagram, hired a defense attorney, altered your story about Stephen's whereabouts. What is the purpose of all this? What good does this do to disrespect Stephen's family, especially his mother? I've heard the conversations firsthand, the disrespect, the dismissal, the unbelievable behavior towards a woman who gave him life. How could someone who claimed to love him treat his family this way? Then they go on to say, what's done in the dark will come to life. Karma 2025. And she says, if you truly loved your late husband, our Stephen Laurel Boss, even if there were challenges within his family, basic decency and compassion would compel you to show respect, especially if you claim he was fighting an addiction you didn't even know about while he was alive. Wouldn't love call for concern and communication with his family rather than airing it all out in a magazine? What's the real motive here? To defend him, yet his name continues to be dragged through the mud? Love doesn't look like this, but manipulation and marketing for personal gain does. As Courtney says, and I'll echo, stick to your own demons. She also goes on to say, when Stephen passed, I heard the devastating news from everyone but you. I messaged, I called, and was left unread. To this day, you didn't even tell me about the funeral. I had to assert myself to ensure that I was there because the family and our closest friends wanted to be by their side. Stephen and I shared a bond that was genuine, honest, and unshakable. Since his death, I've watched his children be isolated from the entire side of the family. My heart aches for them because they deserve love and unity and a full picture of who their father was. I still have hope that reconciliation is possible, but calling out the truth is necessary for that to happen. Stephen and I, along with several others, got matching tattoos. For real, forever. It was a bond that symbolized loyalty, love, and unity, keeping us locked in no matter what. That's the kind of person Stephen was. Someone who valued those connections deeply. To see that bond disrespected and how you've handled this legacy is beyond heartbreaking. Stephen was one of the most mindful, respectful, and loyal people I've ever known. If the roles were reversed, he would never exploit personal battles or share intimate details of someone he loved, especially not for profit or attention. Love means protecting those battles, even in death, and carrying their struggles as your own, not using them as a platform. Stephen's death is a devastating, unresolved tragedy. The man I know had plans for his life, plans filled with hope and purpose that didn't align with what was being portrayed. Something about all of this has felt off from the very beginning. If you've ever had that feeling, you're not alone. Stephen was a beautiful soul, but one who was trapped in a facade, and now in hindsight, it's painfully clear he was living with the enemy. For real, forever. So that is what she had to say. So you can see a lot of people really cared about Stephen and are very upset with what Allison is doing. So now I'm going to show you guys what his mother had to say about the situation as well. So his mother says, our family is absolutely appalled by the misleading and hurtful claims made about my son, Stephen Boss. The recent publication spreading untruths about Stephen have crossed every line of decency. As his mother, I will not let these accusations go unanswered. We will not stand by while his name and legacy are tarnished. He doesn't deserve this, and the kids don't deserve this. For the last 2 years, I have remained quiet and away from the public eye to protect my family. My primary focus has been on healing and attempting to remain connected to my grandchildren. But when I read these dreadful claims about my baby, our beloved Stephen, I realize I cannot stay silent any longer. Our family will ensure that his name and memory are protected, and we are committed to defending his honor. Connie Boss Alexander. Hashtag stand for Stephen. Hashtag Boss Family United. So that is what the mother had to say about the situation, and I feel really bad for her that she's having to now come out and defend her own son from his ex, well, not even ex, from his wife, because they weren't divorced, of 10 years. So after the mother spoke out, another family member of Stephen is also speaking out too on Instagram. So I'm going to show you their page right here. So Manny Cross wrote this over the People magazine. It says, liar. And they say this: if you love Twitch, screenshot this and post this to your page. Everywhere this ends today. Dear Allison, you have lied for the last time on my brother. He was absolutely no addict. You will say and do anything for $1, an addict. You are the one that was messing with Coke, Molly, and X. I have all the proof. Play with somebody safe. Country boy right here. I don't give a F. Every person who knew him knows you're lying and have been doing dirty crap for a long time. Should I post our last conversation? Try me. You have no idea what I have to post. Here's a question I have for you, though. Why did you make my mom sign an NDA to see her son's body? Why did his closest friends and family have to sign an NDA to attend his funeral? Why did you lie at the funeral about how every day was magical and it wasn't? He told me everything. You had to try to demonize Nelson, and now I see why. You demonize anyone in his life that found out the truth about you. You will say his friends aren't his friends. You will discredit anyone that knows the truth. You're a toxic woman, and I truly believe he would still be alive had he not been married to you. My only regret is telling him to work on it with you for the sake of the kids when he talked to me about leaving you. I just didn't know the full truth. And just like everyone that supports you, married to a toxic narcissist that loves black men as a fetish, clock that T, that will lie and cry wolf and twist the narrative so-called evidence to be victim and make $1. We didn't have our dads the way we wanted, so we persevered through BS to be the best fathers we could. Today is the last day you do this. I was contacted about a TV show last year after sending their condolences about me losing Steven. And guess what the producer said about you? The same thing all of them say about you. You're money hungry. You're a lying narcissist that will play victim and say anything for $1. Last question. Wasn't it your gun that he used? Keep playing with my brother's name. This is the year of truth. Everything is offline. Nothing is off limits. AHD I ever. And you can even see people in the comments section replying back. This person says, 2 years ago, she said she would never tell his story because it was too personal and wasn't hers to share. She also said that there was no signs that he was going through anything. Now 2 years later, after moving on and finding her forever love, she comes out with a tell-all. He was showering less and was more withdrawn. Really? If that's true, how was that not a sign? I'll tell you how, because it's all bullshit. Glad someone close to him is finally speaking up. It's been too long and too many things have never added up or made sense. Someone else says, an addict, yet his toxicology report was clean of drugs and alcohol. So clearly hadn't done anything anytime recently to his passing. She's so gross. She's doing everything he would have never wanted. So folks are lighting her ass up. People are tired of the lies and the manipulation. Now, I was on her page snooping around and I found an old interview, and the comments are from weeks ago. And these comments are very, very telling in this old podcast interview.
He wore this character of Twitch. It did become a part of who he was, but that extroverted personality was not natural for him. When he would go out as Twitch and make sure he's spreading all this love and joy and positivity and be dancing all the time for people, and it would drain his energy. He would have to come home, really recharge his battery.
Yeah.
That also comes with the state of depression because he would get really low. He showered people with love. Sometimes I wonder when he would receive so much love, he almost didn't think he deserved that love, so he'd give it right back. That's how much he loved people. I think he would just keep draining himself so much. It was just so on this roller coaster ride. You have to hold on to half your cup to that love that you deserved for yourself. Like what you guys saw on TV, it was a huge part of him. But the other side, it would take a lot to be there.
So now let's go to these comments. And these comments are from 32 weeks ago. So these are not recent comments. So somebody, look at this first comment from Star 1204. She says, something is off with her. I don't know. It's like ever since this entire thing happened, she's rubbed me wrong. I don't know what it is about her. Also, the lack of engagement with his family. Something isn't right. It's a tragedy all around. The effects are deep. I pray for his entire family, and I do pray for healing from everyone. She wrote that 31 weeks ago. And look what's coming to pass. Somebody else says, when he first passed, his wife said there were no signs of depression. This has over 700 likes, 32 weeks ago. Somebody else says, honestly, no. The convincing tone and facial expressions, no rings, nah, something isn't right. Posted 31 weeks ago, 256 likes. Someone else says, she isn't effed up enough for me. I would have never guessed this was his wife. Can't imagine the lack of support he had at home for this to happen. So clearly, people have been feeling for a long time before the family even spoke out that something's not right with this woman. So now what's very interesting is that her daughter has now come out and she's speaking on the situation. Now, granted, her daughter is 16, but I wasn't feeling her explanation and her trying to defend her mom and gaslight the public and act like we didn't hear what the hell we heard. So we're going to go ahead and watch what her daughter had to say as well. So this is his daughter, Weslie. We're going to go ahead and watch what she had to say.
And to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I'm trying to be respectful, but I just think it's complicated because I speak to Steven's moms. Like my mom and her were speaking weekly at some point. And I don't know if it's...
Notice she's calling the man who adopted her. Okay? He adopted this girl when she was about 3 years old. All of a sudden, she's calling him Steven instead of Dad. Because he wasn't Steven when he adopted you and y'all were living off of his legacy and his money and all the hard work to take care of you. He was Dad back then. Because I've been checking out their Instagram pages for a while now. It's funny that now he's Steven. So clock that T.
Still like that. Like, me and my mom haven't talked about it. But since Steven died, I feel like I've seen his family more than when he was alive. We would only see them once or twice a year, but you guys have to understand that it's because they live in another state. Like, and things happen. Like, we literally live in another state, and it's not like we're neighbors. It's not like we could just see them whenever we wanted. And now, like, my mom's constantly making the effort so that the kids are a part of, or not the kids are a part of their, wait. I was about to mess up my words. So the kids are a part of their lives. And my mom's, these are all people that I've grown up with. And to see them now act different for social media, it's like, I don't know. And I don't make the effort, but that's just how I am. I feel disrespected by them, so I'm not going to talk to them. There were points where, like, the brothers would reach out to me, like my uncles and Connie, they'd be texting me. But I don't talk to them anymore. I feel completely disrespected. They've gone on social media saying that blood's thicker than whatever, and that's a direct dig at me and my mom. And if you don't see me as Steven's daughter, that's cool. That's, like, take it how you want. That I know for a fact that's never how he saw it, and it's literally just hurtful. Effort. I don't make the effort, but that's just how I am. Y'all love to argue about the NDAs. Basically, not backstory, because, like, that's what the whole story is, but in one day we had an open casket, like, viewing for Steven. We had a funeral, and then we had a wake. And my mom asked for NDAs to be signed when we were seeing Steven's body, because God forbid somebody that went to that took a photo of Steven and put it on the internet, or, you know, shared it with somebody else. That's the type of things that NDAs are for. It's not so you can never talk about Steven. You can't ever talk about, you know, you grieving him. You can't post about it. That's not what it is. And for all the people saying it, I just feel like you're uneducated. I'm sorry. But, like, truly, I'm fed up. Because NDAs are so important. And if you guys don't agree, that's cool. I'm grateful for my mom making sure that everybody signed NDAs. Y'all love to argue. That whole day was supposed to be beautiful, and instead it was less than that. Like, we were gonna say our goodbyes, and instead people were yelling at each other and bashing my mom, and, like, that's a day that's taken away from her, and she can't remember it as being the day that we all wanted it to be because his family was making it otherwise. And, like, when I say that this day, like, it's imprinted onto my brain. Like, one, because I had to say goodbye to the person that I loved and valued. But then on top of that, I'm having to deal with seeing my mom go through so much. Like, it's a different type of hurt. Because these are people that we're supposed to love and value. And yet, they're constantly doing things that make me see them as like less. Like they're the ones impacting that image, but they're also the ones taking onto social media. So I just don't get it, because I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting comments being like, your mom didn't let Connie see the body for 3 weeks and something like that. But it's like, everybody who wanted to see the body had access to that information. My mom didn't want to. My mom, she stayed out of that. My mom didn't want anything to do, because that's a traumatizing thing. And so somebody else had that information to go and see Steven's body from after he died until he was like, you know, like they fixed up how he looked and stuff. But until that point, I remember like conversations being had of like Connie asking about it, but then everybody, literally everybody, being like advising against it, because that's your son, you might not want to go see him. But with that all being said, she could have completely on her own terms gone and seen him. My mom wasn't withholding information. I don't know where it started, but I'm constantly getting comments being like, my mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that. Never said that he was an addict.
Here goes the
But if y'all want to take a headline for a news article and turn that into being the thing that you're paying attention to most, that's literally on you, right? But in our house, how he ran things, like, I'm his kid. He was trying to, like, teach me and educate, like, obviously, like, be that fatherly role, right? So he'd be open and vulnerable about him smoking weed. Also, my mom's not calling him a terrible person for smoking weed. Like, guys, let's get it together. But when you have 2 years after somebody committed suicide to sit here and question every interaction you had, every single thing they did, obviously my mom's like, maybe I should have paid more attention to. My mom never said that Steven was an addict.
So then the Shade Room goes on to post this. Twitch's cousin speaks out. When I tell you, Twitch must have a big-ass family, because the family members are coming out the woodwork, for real, for real. So she says, yeah, I don't give a fuck about an MDA. This woman is crazy. Made his actual family, including sign an NDA just to attend the funeral. She's been busy trying to tarnish his legacy and refuses to let the Boss family see the children, only to exploit and lie on my cousin. Hell no. At the end of the day, your mother did allude to him being a drug addict. Your mother said a lot of things that she did not need to say in that interview just to sell her book, okay? And then at the end of the interview, she also, quote unquote, introduced the world to her man. But from what I've been researching, her man was married, okay? And they were dating and hooking up while he was married. And when they first were seen by the paparazzi, his wife ended up running to go file for divorce. And this was in August. So it's very interesting. And I'm not saying that she can't move on and date. You know, it's been a few years since Steven has died. She definitely has the right to move on and find love again. But it's interesting that she all of a sudden has found love with the man in Utah. Okay. And Steven is the one who moved them out to Utah. And this man is rich. He like owns his own tech company out there. And he was married to this woman, and so she was creeping. She was the other woman. After the pictures went public, the woman ended up divorcing her now forever boyfriend. So let me go ahead and show y'all some of this stuff that's coming from this Instagram page called Without a Crystal Ball. This is her page, and you can see here, Allison writes, Allison had posted a picture of her man. Somebody says, I'm so happy for you, deserve happiness. But this was the other wife. And they're saying that he's still married, that the divorce hasn't gone through yet. So Without a Crystal Ball says, Allison Holker's new boyfriend, Adam Edmonds, is married to another woman. Allison Holker debuted a photo on Instagram of a shadow of her holding hands with the man in August 28th of 2024. She didn't debut the photo of him until months later. According to Adam's Facebook account, he's married and the father of 3 children. He and his wife's oldest child appeared to be a young adult. At the time of Allison debuting the picture in August, there was no divorce proceedings between Adam and his wife, Charlene.
Also, my mom never said that Steven was an addict. Let me say that. never said that he was an addict. But if y'all want to take a headline for a news article and turn that into being the thing that you're paying attention to most, that's literally on you. Vulnerable about him smoking weed. Also, my mom's not calling him a terrible person for smoking weed. Like, she's not like, oh my gosh, he's awful, he smoked weed. That's not the narrative.
That had addiction problems, and then I realized Steven had addiction problems, and it's something that I kind of have been like, where was I involved in this? And
so you see, she's totally contradicting what her mother said in that interview. People are not making this up. Her mother basically alluded and also said that he had an addiction issue. He was addicted to drugs. So the daughter doesn't know what she's talking about. So this lady's clocking her tea. So here she says, Allison Holker arrested for public intoxication and disorderly conduct in 2018. And they have her arrest record here. And this was in Utah. Intoxication, Class C misdemeanor. Threatening breach of peace on a bus. I mean, this is insane. And this was in 2018. But yet Steven's autopsy showed no drugs or alcohol in his system at the time of death. So there's definitely something going on with her that's not sitting well with a lot of the fans. Then on top of that, they said she was creeping with Emmanuel Acho. The same one that was fucking Joy Taylor on FS1 was also low-key, allegedly smashing, his own friend, because him and Twitch Boss were really close, the wife. So let me read this. She says Stephen Boss was friends to everyone, and one of his friends was retired NFL linebacker Emmanuel Acho. Allison Holker secretly began dating Acho not long after he passed away in December of 2022. When Stephen died, Emmanuel shared a tribute to Stephen on social media, writing, "You'll be missed, my brother. You'll be missed. Thanks for laughing and smiling with me." In October 2023, 10 months after Stephen's death, Allison attended a party for Chelsea Handler, and she raised eyebrows when she was snapped in a photo with Chelsea, Emmanuel, and her daughter. And that's the picture there. By spring 2024, Allison was spotted in Monaco, holding hands. Why would you be holding hands with another grown man? Holding hands with Emmanuel Acho while leaving a luxury hotel. Videos of their hookup was shared on Instagram page at Rich People Life, which seemed to gloss over the significance of their appearance on this video. Friends of Allison and Stephen left comments on the post. One friend claimed that she had called out Allison for dating Emmanuel, and then the friend said that allegedly Allison blocked her. Allison never went public with this relationship, but comments left on the Instagram page allude to the fact that she may have been cheating on Stephen with Emmanuel.
Or he really come out here and start popping like, that's my heart. So I really now want to dive into mental health, particularly mental health within athletics. Naomi Osaka, Simone Biles, Sha'Carri Richardson, because we don't give enough attention to the mind. We only pay attention to the body, but the body is useless without the mind.
Absolutely.
Now think about that. Could that have pushed Stephen over the edge to possibly off himself? I don't know. What's being alleged? Then they go on to say in fall of 2024, Allison went public with a new boyfriend. She now claims that her boyfriend is the love of her life. What she won't share is that he is likely her second boyfriend since Stephen's death. Either way, Stephen's friends are not happy about her dating Emmanuel because of his friendship with Stephen. It sounds like Emmanuel Acho is definitely a piece of work, okay? This person says her story since the beginning has constantly changed. It seems like she's trying to hide all her inconsistencies, but does not care that she has hurt his family. You do not try to destroy the man you said was your one and only. The NDA signing was for her benefit alone. She knew that from the beginning. She did not want any friends or family members making money off of his name like she's done. The saddest part is one day his young children will read the book, and that is heartbreaking. Shame on you, Allison. So then here's another post that she made. Allison's disgusting confessions while promoting her new book, Slandering Stephen. 1. Allison changed her name back to Holker less than 48 hours after Stephen died. 2. Allison took her wedding ring off only 2 months after he died. 3. Allison threw away most of his belongings, furniture, and sold their home to get the bad energy off of her. 4. Allison is still angry at Stephen for his death, and she is betrayed that he kept secrets from her. 5. Allison knew Stephen left home and didn't bother looking for him until more than a day later. 6. Allison's healing journey is to be an inspirational beacon of love and light. She's delusional. 7. Allison accuses Stephen of drug addiction and claims it wasn't her job to fix his problems. She never tried to get him help, and it's basically his fault that he wasn't strong enough. 8. Allison is so proud of herself that she's stronger than Stephen because she could get through it without unaliving herself. 9. Allison's new boyfriend is her future and her past love 3 times over. He is the best love that she's ever had, and their love transcends the universe. She's never been in love like this. My question is, if you're happy in your life and moved on so easily and threw away Stephen's things and the ring, why not leave him alone? Finally, Stephen's former manager and some of his friends claim Allison is the one with the alleged drug and alcohol addiction. She's a narcissist, in my opinion. So this person without a crystal ball is definitely clocking Allison's tea, so definitely follow her for more. All of it is just sad. You know, it makes no sense. So Reddit also has posts concerning Allison's new man, Adam Edmonds, and they're clocking his tea in his marriage. So I'm going to go ahead and share this with y'all as well. So on this Reddit post here, about Adam Edmonds, he's very popular in Utah. This person is saying, I love her, but I did some digging on Adam. If he's divorced, it happened very recently. His ex-wife was still posting pictures of him this year, and her IG and Facebook profile pics has her and him on it. And this was posted 4 months ago, as y'all can see. Somebody else says, I work at Antara. I work at Entata. I don't know how you pronounce it. He posted to the employees about this earlier today. He said he and his wife separated in the summer of 2023. Somebody else says, I wonder if his wife knew that they were separated that long. Somebody else says, I don't think she did. Another person says, I feel horrible for his family. And then somebody says, what else did the post say? The person goes on to say, just that he recently started dating someone in the public eye and there might be some media about it, and he wanted all of us to hear from him first. So, yeah. Somebody else says, I used to work at Antara. I can confirm Adam is a piece of shit. Everything from screaming at female coworkers to fake crying in front of the whole company for sympathy. The dude is messed up. So, yeah, they're clocking his tea. And this is his wife. This is Charlene Edmonds. So that is the wife right here. Here's another picture of her right here. So that is who Allison is now dating. So this whole situation is a mess. I hope you guys enjoy this breakdown of this drama. I look forward to hearing from you guys, reading y'all's comments. What do y'all think about this? You know, do you feel like, you know, what she's doing is messed up? And it's very interesting now how, you know, she was so in love with this black man, but now this white man is her forever love, and all of his wealth has been transferred over to her and her family. And the daughter that he adopted is now calling him Stephen. So the whole situation is sad. So let's go ahead and get the discussion popping. I look forward to reading y'all's comments down below. Most importantly, don't forget to hit this video with a like. Make sure you're still subscribed to this channel, and I'll talk to y'all later. Deuces.
If you want the latest news in the streets, join us and tune in for the tea. Breaking news with integrity. So tell your friends and your family. It's the Lovelyti TV show, bringing you good tea and good vibes. It's the Lovelyti TV show. Be sure to share, like, and subscribe.